Hi, I'm Jonathan Sharpe, and this is the University of Tennessee Daily Beacon's Bad Movie Showcase. Each week, me and a guest will subject ourselves to some truly awful movies and attempt to find something redeeming about them. We'll probably fail, but at least we'll have some fun along the way. Without further ado, future me and guest.
All right, everyone, and welcome back to the Bad Movie Showcase. Once again, I have with me Tyler because I didn't find anyone else.
Did you know that cats have barbed penises?
Well, with that fact, that's about as horrifying as the movie we watched this week, which was Cool Cat Saves the Kids.
Me providing that bit of trivia will teach you more than Cool Cat will teach you, because this is intended to be an anti-bullying PSA.
As well as anti-gun.
And
Or gun safety.
Anti-bullying, gun safety, green screen, music. It teaches you everything.
It teaches you so much. It teaches you to bully the bullies right back. It teaches you to make the kid feel so bad that he grabs a gun. So Cool Cat Saves the Kid is based on a book written by a man named Derek Savage, who's trying to forcefully become a childhood author. He has no skill at writing for children.
Or
drawing, and he looks like a pedophile. And
I swear to God, I saw him on To Catch a Predator. He came up and was like, "Hey kids, do you like Cool Cat?"
But so he wrote the books, and I guess he sold maybe like 500 copies, and so he thinks it's famous, and so he wrote a movie. And then did the entire movie without knowing how to do movie.
Mm-hmm. They actually re-released this movie last year as Cool Cat Kid Superhero? It's the exact same movie. He just re-released the DVD.
He originally recorded this movie in 2015 with his neighbors.
And he also got Eric Estrada and Vivica A. Fox, who are C-level actors, but they're still in this movie.
Like, they're people whose names some people can recognize. And they're just kind of in there on the side, and I have a feeling that he lives next door to them, and he has, like, a tape of something they don't want getting out.
Yeah,
and
Eric Estrada has done, and Vivica A. Fox, they have done things on camera that he's blackmailing with, because I don't know how they're in this otherwise. Either that, or I bet if I Google it, Eric Estrada has, like, a DUI, and they're like, you gotta make a PSA about something. He's like, I'll do it on bullying and gun safety.
But this movie is genuinely bad, has no redeeming qualities, and the man who makes it is a horrible human being who should feel bad.
I think it's pretty funny, actually.
I mean, it's funny your first watch. The problem is you get a single watch out of this movie, and that's it.
This is like my 5th time watching it, and I was really bored.
We watched it the first time for our last podcast that we did before Bad Movie Showcase, and we were laughing through the whole thing. We had a great time.
It's so fun. There's so many like mistakes and mess ups. There's like moments where you can see the camera guy and the reflection of Cool Cat's little head. Cool Cat's in a fursuit, by the way.
Discount fursuit. Flashback to Turkish Star Wars.
And you constantly see just like terrible green screen effects. Cool Cat doesn't remember a lot of his lines. They keep cutting to the same scene. I think a personal favorite line is he sees this kid who's being a bully, and he's spray painting on somebody's wall. And Cool Cat goes up and he goes, "Look at that! He's spray painting somebody's wall! It's not cool to spray paint somebody's wall!" Like he just forgets what he was supposed to say. And they kept that in and didn't cut it or speed it up in any way.
Yeah, they left so many mistakes in this movie. I think one of the features that was built into the suit was that it has like Velcro eyebrows to show emotion,
and so
and they only remembered that in a single scene where Cool Cat gets angry, except in that scene it's also half fallen off.
Dude, I was terrified. Cool Cat was legit angry in that scene. He was going to destroy that child.
So the entire story of this movie, if you can call it a story,
it's not a story,
is Cool Cat is a child, except it's obviously a grown man in a discount fursuit, who is running for student council, and his school is also the coolest cat in school, is trying to become Hollywood famous. He writes a couple of songs, and he's trying to protect his friend from a bully whose literal existence is as bully.
His name's Butch the Bully on his birth certificate.
And
he also is just like, it's weird too, because like you would expect that this movie would try to teach children like actual lessons about bullying, like, hey, tell somebody. But they don't really. They just kind of do nothing.
actually, no, they never mention to an adult that they're being bullied.
Yeah.
Except for Vivica Fox. And
No,
him.
Vivica Fox sees it happening.
They see it
goes over
happening, and they go and like start to try and beat up the kid. They like act like they're gonna go over and like beat him to the ground, and then they're really just like, "You need to stop doing that."
My other favorite line is in that scene. Eric Estrada, Vivica A. Fox goes, "Hey, where is Cool Cat?" And Eric Estrada goes, and this is exactly what I said. He goes, "There he is." It's like, wait, you're an actor. You know how to speak. Like, what is that line reading? What it was they're probably like, "Wow, Eric, that was a really bad read. Can we get another take on that?" And he's like,
Out of spite, does it that way, and then they
No.
take it, and he's like, "What?
"You have me for 5 minutes on your set, and that's what I'm doing."
You have me for 5 minutes with alcoholic beverages."
They were drinking. They were drinking on the set on that day. Like, not even, they were sitting in chairs and they were just drinking alcohol.
One of my favorite bits about this movie is Cool Cat's room, which is really obviously that guest room that your grandmother decorated like 10 years ago and no one's touched, because like all the furniture is useless and fancy. The paint is drab. They've got like posters that they just like taped up for the scenes themselves of Cool Cat himself.
It just says Cool Cat is cool. And so Cool Cat just has his own portrait up a lot in his own bedroom, and it just says he's really cool.
It's really teaching you that it's okay to be narcissistic as long as you're Cool Cat.
Cool Cat, this is also the room where Cool Cat has, I think what they were trying to say, he was having a nightmare about being bullied. And it looks really silly because they didn't... The Cool Cat costume they use does not have eyelids.
It's got felt pieces they can put in there sometimes,
But
but
they never do.
Again, they forget that
And so
they exist.
it looks like Cool Cat lays down in bed and just starts
having a
freaking
waking
out.
nightmare.
He starts freaking out, and then it cuts to a rainbow stock image and says, in Comic Sans, of course, "Going to Dreamland."
Because, of course, we couldn't understand that we're going to Dreamland unless he told us. To then, Dreamland happens to be him wandering around in an empty green screen that someone recolored black.
like-
And then hiding inside of his closet in a comatose state.
That was like...
rocking back and forth, like sucking his thumb.
Derek Savage totally thought that was going to be like a hard-hitting scene. Like, people are going to be like, "Oh my god, Cool Cat. I hope he'll be able to get through this." But no, it just looks silly.
It looks so
Because it's
bad.
a grown man in a fursuit in a closet hiding and kind of rocking around.
Now,
It's horrifying.
He obviously doesn't have very good control within the suit, because every time he walks down the stairs, he like, you can tell he's like very intent. His like adrenaline's at max because he's trying not to fall.
He's very careful going up and down those stairs.
As well as the fact that one of the fingers on each of the hands cannot be moved, which means even when he's pointing at things, his pinky is just always out, but he's only got 4 fingers, so it's really obvious that one of them isn't working. Sometimes they take off his, like the pants of the fursuit. Like, he's got human pants. He's got human clothes on top of the suit.
And he has pants on. Do you think the guy was naked in the suit?
Maybe. But
The guy who did R2-D2 was naked.
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
suit.
But sometimes they had taken off the fur part on the legs. Just, I assume, because it's California and it was way too hot for that actor inside that suit.
He couldn't wear his clothes. That's what I'm saying, is he probably just had underwear on in that. Because can you imagine filming out in the Californian sun, having a picnic or whatever it is Cool Cat does in this movie, and then you're in your clothes and then the fursuit and then clothes on top of that? You would die.
Yeah, you would straight up die. Another thing I noticed during our first watch through, I think it was like 5 months ago or something. But I noticed that the mouth of the suit is actually controlled by the movement of his left arm. No, it's his right arm. Whenever he moves his right arm up and down, his mouth will move. And so that, first of all, anyone who knows anything about costume design knows that's a bad idea. to put it there. You need to have a hidden mechanism for controlling the mouth.
It really limits your movement a lot.
But so essentially, any time that he tries to talk, he's got to flail around like a kid with ADHD who also has Skittles just shoved into his bloodstream.
He does a lot of like crazy movement and emotion enunciating. It's kind of like you know, it's a really good design costume. You ever seen that video of how they work the Bigfoot or Big Bird costume?
Oh yeah, the Big Bird costume is cool.
It's literally he has one arm that he uses
To control the body parts.
and he uses that. He has one arm that goes into the wing. He uses fishing wire so he can control the other wing, and then he has his hand up in the head to control the mouth and the eyes.
And of course, move the head around.
And it's really well designed because then it allows him to have pretty much unlimited motion with no consequences.
Yeah.
So like,
and I seem to remember the people who have done it have said it's a pretty comfortable despite the weird pose that they have to do.
It ends up feeling okay. But that's the important thing is you want to design your costume so it's not like, oh, you want to open the mouth, got to swing your arms.
Yeah, no, because it ends up, you can tell it, because I was able to notice my first time watching this movie. Now, one of the things about this movie that stands out is I have a type of director of bad movies who I enjoy, which are the delusional directors.
Tommy Wiseau, your Neil Breens, your I'm trying to remember his name.
There's a couple of other ones.
The guy who made Get Even, but I cannot remember his name at all.
But so they're completely crazy.
Tom Green for
Yes,
sure.
yes.
Freddy Got Fingered.
So they are entirely crazy and have no grip on reality, but they think they're making masterpieces. I think Derek Savage is kind of the same, except he knows what he's making is bad, and he has no clue how to do any of it.
So it's just kind of like, it's funny and silly to point out like, haha, production errors and stuff, but it never like rises to the level of like The Room of badness of like,
Yeah,
you have to watch this.
Or
it's amazing.
Double Down, Tuna Cans.
Get Even.
Just all of those great bad movies.
David Miscavige.
Yes.
And David Miscavige, who did Suburban Sasquatch, and Joey Versace, who did The Last Vampire.
Oh yeah, Joey Versace. Oh, he is definitely crazy.
Have you seen his like YouTube videos?
I have not.
He does this stuff. He'll film in his car and be like, "So all the haters, don't let them get you down, okay?" And then he'll go and make a movie, and it's like, wow, this is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
Now, the other type of people who makes bad movies are the people who genuinely have the skills, the abilities, and the ideas to make a good movie, and they just mess up. They just like somehow everything combines to go badly. Like once again, the original cut of Star Wars, which if you can ever find the original cut, that movie is atrocious and no one would have watched it.
Until they had an editor come in and actually kind of fix it up.
Exactly.
George Lucas is the perfect example of that. He has all these great ideas. He can never in a billion years stick any kind of landing though.
Yeah, no, none of the stuff that he had full control over has been good.
Everyone hates Jar Jar, but one of my favorite parts of watching The Phantom Menace,
He said everyone was gonna love Jar Jar.
He's looking at storyboards of Jar Jar like acting crazy, and he goes, "Jar Jar is the key to all of this. If we can get him working, this whole movie's really gonna take off." And then it cuts to, and like it's this little documentary I've seen. It like cuts to him in the theater watching the first rough cut of the movie, and he goes, "I may have gone too far in a few places."
That cut. And that cut's so perfect to use for videos.
I know, it's so funny. Like, everybody hates Jar Jar.
Yeah, no one in history liked Jar Jar. But back to this monstrosity.
I don't want to talk about Cool
I
Cat
don't want to
'cause
talk
it's so
about
boring.
it. It's
I will say there's one more thing like about this movie, and that's when Butch the Bully finds the gun, and he runs up, and the racist police officer arrests Butch for having the gun,
and then
the
his
Hispanic child for just
friends.
standing next to him.
Like his kid,
He's doing nothing. He's standing next to Butch
and
the
he's
Bully.
telling Butch not to do anything.
And the Butch, and then this child just saying, I don't remember his name.
No, I don't know. So in the movie,
I don't
Butch
think they
has
actually have
two
names.
lackeys who are like two brothers,
They're
and
two
they're
Hispanic children.
kids.
They never get names though.
They don't, and they are entirely
throwaway characters, except for the fact that they'll just do whatever Butch says, even though they obviously think Butch is the stupidest character.
This police officer just runs up and like points a gun at Butch and goes, "Put the weapon down," and then he throws both of them in the back of the police car, and the other kid's just like, "I didn't do anything."
And everyone's acting like he's getting justice despite him having been dragged along by this sociopath of a child.
And it's that's just the way it be sometimes.
Now, when we're talking about Butch bullying people, the first point to make is Butch is the only overweight, blonde-haired kid with a lisp in the whole movie. He is the kid who one would expect to play the person being bullied.
Yeah, like, I mean, you can do whatever you want in a movie, but I think in most movies they try to keep, like, the bully's the stereotypical, like, jock Chad. Like, that would have made so much more sense. Like,
it would have.
Like,
if one of the other kids had been the bully, it would have made more sense.
Yeah, like...
But instead, they pick the kid who looks like he would be the one being bullied, and they make him play the bully like a schlocky 80s cartoon villain.
He literally, like, drums his fingers together in his hands like he's
and does
plotting a
evil
scheme.
laughs all the time.
He's just Dick Dastardly's son.
When we say he bullies, what we mean by he bullies is he texts people mean things from numbers he shouldn't be able to have while standing across the street from them.
And he texts them stuff like which is crazy because cyberbullying is a pretty good topic to cover with kids because this movie came out in 2015.
Yeah, and cyberbullying is like a big problem.
Yeah, but the kind of things they do, here's an actual scene, right? Maria and Cool Cat are like having fun on a picnic, and Maria gets a text. And she says, "Cool Cat, I got a text from a number I don't know. What should I do?" And instead of being like, "Hey, Maria,
you probably shouldn't read that.
You should never read you should never read any text or message you get from somebody you don't know already." That's a good lesson for kids to know because they're gullible and they might not know. Instead, he goes, "Maybe you won a contest or something. You should see what it says."
Like kids are now like with the lesson he just tried to teach there.
Kids are gonna
gonna fall for those scams.
Mm-hmm. And then she reads it and it says like, "Cool Cat, this message says that I look like I have rat hair. That's so mean." And then Butch the bully's like, she's so sad and crying. I'm gonna send another message. Maria gets a second text message,
and then she also goes, "I got a text from the same number again." And Cool Cat goes, "Better read it."
Cool Cat goes, "Wow, maybe they're trying to apologize." And you should read what it says.
And then she opens it, gives this face of disgust, and goes, "He said I look fat and ugly."
It's like, well, this is bad lessons to teach kids.
These aren't the ways people get bullied. People get bullied in open ways that you can't escape from. And those are the worst types of bullies because you need another person's help in order to get away from those. But for these, it's just block the number that called you fat.
I kept expecting Cool Cat to just beat that kid up.
At one point, he almost did.
I think you mentioned in the books that Cool Cat is the size of a regular child.
Yeah, so in the books, Cool Cat's just a normal kid with 2 cat parents. And we'll remember that. Remember that. He has 2 cat parents in the books. And so he in the books, it makes a lot more sense that he's being bullied because he's not being played by a full-grown man who's 6 foot tall. And so, like, at one point, he's getting bullied, and he gets sand kicked in his face. And this is where Miss Fox and them see it happening. And so they're about to go and help because, of course, the adults in the situation need to help. And the dude just stops her and is like, "No, look it. Cool Cat's doing it on his own." And Cool Cat stands up. They remembered he has felt to slit his eyes, and they've moved his Velcro eyebrows down.
He is furious.
He is furious. He stands up at like full height in front of this kid. And we're just imagining that they're going to do a quick cut to this kid like hanging from a tree.
Like or just beaten up. I really wish I could have been on set and like Influence is great. It would have been like, "Now you will know my wrath." There's actually a line that's kind of similar to that. It's really weird where like Butch the bully's being mean. I think it's after he sends a text messages where Cool Cat gets really aggressive for no reason. He just goes, "Yeah, you know, my daddy says that what goes around comes around." It's like,
and it's after
whoa, Cool Cat.
And this kid has sprayed himself in the eyes with a spray paint.
that he's using to graffiti the signs that Cool Cat has littered the neighborhood with.
You know, the lesson I got out of that was it's okay to spray paint things as long as you're careful about it.
Exactly. And so the kid's spray painting, and finally Cool Cat goes to confront. But Cool Cat, like, steps up on this kid and, like, aggressively grabs the can. And we're like, what's about to go down here?
Hey, kids, is somebody doing a crime like graffitiing? Go up and confront them. Stop it yourself.
Now, back to the fact that in the book, Cool Cat has 2 cat parents. Well, in the movie, he has 1 cat parent and 1 parent who is Derek Savage, the creator, the man who looks like a pedophile, who goes by Daddy Derek by every character.
Interesting thing about Daddy Derek is that he is part of a big group of directors that constantly put themselves in lead roles and also wear black tank tops.
Yes.
This is a thing. Daddy Derek does it. Neil Breen does it.
Neil Breen.
John DeHart does it.
Oh, he does,
They all do it. They wear black tank tops and then they make themselves the lead in their movies.
And they can't act. And so Daddy Derek hugs the wife, who is a woman inside of the same Cool Cat costume, which leads to some great scenes later in the movie where they have to have Cool Cat interact with the mom. Mm-hmm. And they try and just do the shot twice and do a split in the center so that they can have obvious. Cool Cat on one side and the mom on the other. But you can see the cut because they've got tiles there that are at an angle, and the cut is in the middle of the tiles, and you can see the cut in it. And then in another scene, they have we need to see the backside of the dad and the mom on the couch as they're talking to Cool Cat, but the mom is just a PNG file.
It's just a picture, and he photoshopped his arm in front of it so it looked normal.
But
it's so obvious because it's totally still.
Yeah, it's really creepy.
I think one of my other favorite scenes is where that kid shows up again after he gets arrested. He's like, "How you doing, kid?" And he's like, "Ma'am, my mama beat me so hard last night." And he's rubbing his butt. It's like, why did you put this in your movie? Is this a joke?
Is that acceptable?
What are you writing in your movie, Daddy Derek?
Because this movie is obviously meant for an age range far below most kids' movies.
Yeah.
It's only for toddlers or under. And even then, some of the subjects they cover aren't going to teach these toddlers anything.
Well, yeah, because that's the only kind of lessons I guess you could give. Is the age range of I was thinking 4 to 8, maybe 10.
Yeah,
around that age range of I think Cool Cat teaches people not to steal at one point. I don't know why.
The big thing about this movie and about the books too is that they're written for an age group, except the writing doesn't match that.
Yeah.
He's decided, I want to teach lessons that this age range of kids will like. Except his writing is teaching 5 years below that.
It would be like if you're watching an educational video. It'd be like if you're watching that Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Except
or
he talked like he was talking to children.
Yeah, that's aimed at maybe an 8 to 15 demographic kind of.
Yeah.
And you wrote it for 2-year-olds. So you have content that's intended for a particular age demographic, but it contains content and writing that is way below their level.
Yeah, it's put Teen Titans, except replace all of the words with Teletubby noises.
It's Teen Titans, but it's the dialogue from Teen Titans Go.
Hey, Teen Titans Go knows they're bad.
Wrong.
No, they do. They have an entire episode, which is just them being shown the original show, and they're like, why aren't we that?
I know, and then they tell people that, hey, kids, cartoons are for kids, stupid. And I'm like, man, I really hope that the animators who work super hard on this cartoon because they love the art format, they're over there man, you writers are stupid.
But yeah, Cool Cat, there's so many things wrong with this movie, and you can only derive entertainment from it once, and even then, every other movie we've watched, even the ones we said were terrible, were better than this. Because we couldn't sit through this for the second time.
It's not interesting in a bad way.
We made it to just over the half-hour point, and we were done.
It's only 90 minutes too, so I was just I turned to John and was just I've seen this before. Let's just do the podcast. I don't want to watch this anymore.
We couldn't stand it. Now, the reason that it sucked our soul is because we got through the musical segment and the segment where he goes to Hollywood, which are by far the worst things ever. So
Cool Cat sings a song and the guy has like a weird singing voice. Daddy Derek also takes time to stop the entire movie and go, "Hey, Cool Cat, take a look at my cool guitar. It's signed by all the members of Van Halen." It's like, did you only put that in this movie so you could show off your guitar?
now, also, all of the songs were written by Derek, and Derek's thing of music is imagine the lyrics of Baby, like that repetition, except it just
Even
Cool
more
Cat
repetitive.
likes blank. Cool Cat likes blank.
Cool Cat likes to rock and roll. Cool Cat likes to love and play. Cool Cat loves to sing and dance. Cool Cat likes to rock and roll.
Cool Cat
Repeat.
loves to drum. It's all bad.
It's so mind-numbing.
And then they have a rap that Derek also wrote that they get this one guy who's done nothing except for this rap to do it. And they do it in front of the green screen, except they confuse people about what a green screen does because Cool Cat reacts as if things are actually changing around him, despite him saying, "Yeah, I'm going inside of this green screen."
Cool Cat, Boogie Woogie is the name of the rap song. And it
Yes.
goes, "Yo, yo, yo, my name is Cool Cat, and I'm the coolest cat there is. I love to play and have fun, and I'm always on the run. The sun is shining, and I'm feeling finin', so everybody listen to the words I'm saying. Cool Cat knows the time of day, so he has to say, it's time for you and me to boogie." Okay. None of that rhymed at all.
None of that
except
rhymes.
for fun and run, but that was terrible.
That it's awful all the way through, and it goes on way too long. That's 3 minutes, and that comes right after the scene where Derek Savage pays off some high officials in Hollywood and gets into this really big
The Hollywood Christmas Parade.
Yeah, the Hollywood Christmas Parade.
Which I don't think it's as big as you think it is.
It's
I think
probably
just
not,
kinda,
but he probably had to pay a bunch to get in there.
Yeah, it's
with
probably
what he
the
was
kind of thing
bringing.
where it's like local businesses or like local advertisers can get in, like a lot of parades.
Yeah, but so he pays to get in this thing to promote his character that no one knows. And so they have Cool Cat run over to like all the cars that are kind of recognizable, like the Knight Rider car and the Batmobile. And then they have him run in, like, there's a bunch of reporters trying to interview someone, and they have Cool Cat run in the middle of it and just like start trying to talk to all the reporters, and all the reporters like, what is going on?
My favorite part, they're showing the Ecto-1 and they kind of pan over, and for 1 second you see a man standing there just like, he has the most blank, horrified expression on his face is what
he looks dead inside.
Also, where they're in the parade and it cuts to the crowd of people and you hear like stock screaming effect.
But no one's reacting at all.
Everyone is just staring at Cool Cat and saying nothing, but they have like this really obnoxiously loud cheering effect.
Now, one thing that's pervasive through the whole movie is the audio quality, which consists of outside like they've got boom mics, except they've got a character in costume that they're not redubbing over in the future.
Yeah.
So anytime Cool Cat talks, he's talking like this. It's so great, right? Doesn't it sound authentic?
Like, that's what he sounds like the whole time. It's just constantly muffled. Even Mommy Cat was like that.
Yeah, though not as much.
I think, I'm wondering if maybe she just had her voice sounded a little more clear. I wonder if maybe because her voice was a lot more higher pitched.
Yeah, because,
like,
I mean, the dude who does Cool Cat doesn't have a high voice. He fakes it by, breaking his vocal cords.
You can, like, hear the deepness in his voice. Her voice is a lot more high pitched. I'm wondering if maybe...
You can hear it when he sings, because he couldn't sing in Cool Cat's voice.
Yeah.
So when he sings, it goes from, "Hey kids, we're gonna do this," to,
"Hey kids, let's play a song. Cool Cat.
Cool Cat saves the kids. And it's so bad. Oh man, this movie breaks me. I want to find something good about every movie, and it's hard to for this movie.
Cool Cat's just not fun to watch.
It's not fun to watch. I don't even think kids would enjoy this. The kid inside of me died a long time ago, but even he didn't like it.
I think kids would just be bored by it. Because I feel like if you're old enough that you're watching this, or anyone would actually show you, it's all stuff that, you've probably heard before, and it doesn't cover it in like a smart way. Like, PSAs in movies like this should probably be pretty focused. So like if I was going to make like a video to teach kids, like, hey, you find a gun, don't pick it up. It can't be a 90-minute movie where they cover all this stupid stuff. It needs to be like a little 5-minute video. Hey kids, did you find a gun? Tell somebody. Don't touch it. Done. That's all it needs to be.
Exactly.
You don't need to keep it going for like 90 minutes and it's singing and dancing and all these other lessons. It's just so boring and mind-numbing.
Don't graffiti. But if you do graffiti, don't spray it in your eyes. If you get bullied, remember, never tell an adult. Because Derek never, in the whole movie, he never learns that Butch is bullying his son. Because he never mentions it.
That's the first lesson they should have taught kids. Hey, is somebody being mean to you or bullying you? Tell somebody. Like,
be what most people would call a narc or a snitch.
I would have loved if, like, Cool Cat, like, he's spray painting that sign, and Cool Cat pulls out a gun and says, "Watch me knock the can out of his hand," and he just like fires the gun out of the kid's hand, or the can out of the kid's hand.
Yeah, no, so the big thing about the suit as to why we're so angry it's badly designed is because it's custom. It's designed off of the characters in his book.
He clearly got like some creepy fursuit maker on DeviantArt to make him a suit, and it's just cat suit, orange cat suit.
Yeah, it's a cheap orange cat suit that doesn't come off the body at all. It doesn't have a torso. It only has arm pieces
that
are velcroed to the inside of the shirt.
It has this weird black pads on the bottom of his feet that like all Halloween costumes have. Like
because they want you to not damage the normal thing when you're walking, and they don't want to be so expensive. Because I guess the feet are really expensive on normal fursuits because they've got to have like rubber padding that reaches down lower.
If you look really closely at the suit, it's two parts. It's actually three parts. It's the head, the torso, and then the legs are separate.
Yeah. Well, and then the shoes have their cover, which is a thing. But I mean, all the pieces come off at some point.
I learned today that John knows a lot about fursuits, more so than I thought.
I wish I didn't. I just had a couple of friends who were furries.
Why are you cursed with this forbidden knowledge?
Well, I mean, and it's also because I have jumping stilts, and a lot of people use it for fur costumes.
Yeah.
Because I guess you can do like rabbits or kangaroos with them. So back to rating this movie, because we're at a half hour. This movie deserves a like -2. I can't stand this movie. Don't watch it. You can get maybe some enjoyment first time watching it, but even then, just find a highlight reel somewhere. Also, this is a dangerous thing to make because Derek Savage sues people who call his movie bad.
Yeah, he sued some pretty popular and profile YouTubers for making. I think I Hate Everything and Your Movie Sucks were the main two.
Yeah.
Tommy Wiseau did a similar thing with The Room, suing that guy with the glasses.com.
Now, thankfully, he did that. Like his main argument in those was because they weren't PG about something that's PG, and we have been completely PG about this.
Not the first couple openings we did that were scrapped.
We have a couple of scrapped openings, which thankfully will never hear your ears. Actually, there is non-PG in this opening. I just remembered. You talk about the cat.
Oh yeah, that is PG. That is a scientific discussion.
It is a scientific fact. We use the scientific name.
Animals and people all have genitalia, and it is perfectly normal to talk about them in a scientific context.
So
I hate this movie.
Yeah.
That's my rating.
Your rating is I hate it. Don't watch it.
Watch it with friends the first time. Get a big group together and watch it. Buy the DVD. Never watch it again.
Yeah, watch it with friends with alcohol involved.
Yes, definitely. Please do.
Unless you're underage. And then, of course, wink. Not with alcohol, wink.
Hey, kids. Are you underage? Go find somebody on the street to buy you beer. Offer them a 20. Watch my movie. That's Cool Cat's PSA for drinking.
Well, thank you guys for listening. And in the future, be on the lookout. I think the month of March is going to be
box office
failure March, which is going to be a bunch of movies that aren't bad, but they failed horribly and didn't make any money. Well, bye. Well, bye. Well, bye. Well, bye.